Every vision you hold has the potential to shape the world you step into. Your mind is constantly sending signals, forming possibilities long before they appear in your daily life. This audiobook explores how your inner focus becomes the engine that drives your outcomes, showing you how to use intention as a creative force. When you learn to direct your thoughts with precision, you begin turning ideas into movement and dreams into momentum. This is where imagination takes on structure, where belief molds the experiences waiting ahead of you. Asterisk, think it into existence times is an invitation to awaken the power of your vision and transform it into something real, purposeful, and entirely your own. Here begins the journey of manifesting what you imagine. The mind begins shaping your desires long before any external action takes place. Every thought you entertain sends subtle signals to your inner world, guiding how you interpret possibilities. As you give attention to a desire, your mind begins building an internal image of it. This image becomes a mental outline for the reality you want to create. Through consistent focus, the desire gains definition. Defined intention becomes the first step in forming your future. Your desires start to take shape once you learn to think of them as achievable rather than distant. When you shift from wishing to believing, your mind begins reorganizing itself around the new direction. This reorganization influences how you perceive challenges and opportunities. Opportunities become easier to recognize, and challenges lose their power to discourage you. As your beliefs grow stronger, your desires feel within reach. Feeling close to your goal strengthens your commitment to it. The mind is constantly shaping reality through the meanings you assign to your thoughts. When you give a desire positive meaning, it becomes easier to pursue. But when fear or doubt takes over, the desire becomes clouded. Clarity grows when you intentionally direct your thoughts toward possibility rather than limitation. This shift stabilizes your emotions and energizes your actions. Energy aligned with desire becomes a powerful force. That force helps your vision take form. Your mind gives form to your desires through the images you repeatedly imagine. These mental pictures act like blueprints, guiding your decisions and behaviors. The more vivid the image, the stronger the emotional connection you form with it. Emotion fuels motivation, helping you stay committed even when progress seems slow. Consistency keeps the vision alive. With time, these inner images influence your reality in subtle but powerful ways. Your desires begin to take shape when your thoughts reflect trust instead of hesitation. Trust opens the door to creativity, allowing you to see solutions instead of problems. Solutions become stepping stones toward what you want to build. As you follow these inner steps, your confidence grows. Growing confidence amplifies your belief in what you're creating. Belief transforms desire into direction. The mind becomes a tool for creation when you use it intentionally. Intentional thinking involves choosing thoughts that support your desires rather than undermine them. Each supportive thought strengthens the internal structure you are building. This structure becomes the foundation for your future experiences. A strong foundation helps you stay aligned with your desires. Alignment keeps your vision alive. Your thoughts have the ability to influence how you experience the world. When you focus on what you want, your awareness expands toward opportunities related to that desire. This expansion helps you notice possibilities that once blended into the background. With new awareness, your choices become more aligned with your goals. Aligned choices create momentum. Momentum helps your desires materialize. The mind shapes your desires through repetition. Each time you revisit the same vision, your brain strengthens the neural pathways connected to it. These pathways make the desire feel more familiar and attainable. Familiarity reduces hesitation, allowing you to take action with greater confidence. Action driven by confidence becomes more purposeful. Purposeful action brings your desires closer. Your desires gain clarity when you allow yourself to imagine without restriction. When you remove the limits from your thoughts, your mind expands its sense of possibility. This expansion gives your imagination space to create new versions of your future. As these versions grow clearer, your inner direction strengthens. Strong direction influences your choices. Choices build the path toward your desires. The mind gives form to desire by connecting it with emotion. Emotion adds weight and meaning to your thoughts, making your desires feel more real. When a desire feels real, your actions naturally align with it. Alignment creates consistency, even during challenges. Consistency deepens commitment. Commitment helps your vision turn into something tangible. Your desires take shape when your mind stops focusing on obstacles and starts focusing on outcomes. This shift is not about ignoring challenges, but approaching them with clarity. When you focus on outcomes, you maintain a steady sense of purpose. Purpose guides your energy toward creation rather than defeat. Staying focused keeps you aligned with your vision. Alignment shapes your reality. The mind strengthens your desires when you allow yourself to think boldly. Bold thinking breaks through the barriers that limit your imagination. When you imagine freely, your desires grow stronger and more meaningful. Meaningful desires inspire action. Action keeps your momentum alive. Momentum becomes the bridge between thought and manifestation. Your mind gives form to your desires through the interpretations you choose. You can interpret a setback as a warning or as guidance. Guidance helps you adjust your direction without losing your vision. Adjustments refine your path, making your desire more reachable. Reachable goals empower your confidence. Confidence fuels your manifestation process. A desire begins to form when your thoughts create a sense of inevitability. When you think as if the outcome is already on its way, your energy aligns with that belief. This alignment changes how you approach each day. You begin acting with purpose rather than uncertainty. Purpose strengthens your internal clarity. Clarity speeds up your progress. Your mind supports your desires by creating emotional stability. When your thoughts remain steady, your emotions follow. Steady emotions reduce self-doubt, making it easier to stay connected to your vision. This connection becomes a source of strength during difficulty. Strength helps you continue despite obstacles. Continuation turns potential into reality. The mind forms your desires by reflecting your deepest truths. When you think from honesty rather than expectation, your desires become more authentic. Authentic desires carry more emotional power. This power helps you stay committed, even during slow progress. Commitment keeps you aligned. Alignment builds the path to your future. Your desires take shape when your mind practices intentional focus. Intentional focus filters out distractions and keeps your energy directed toward what matters. With fewer distractions, your mental clarity increases. Increased clarity enhances your ability to take meaningful action. Action supported by clarity leads to steady progress. Progress shapes your dreams. Your mind gives structure to your desires through imagination. Imagination acts as the creative force that brings ideas to life before they appear in reality. When you imagine vividly, your desires feel closer. Feeling close to a goal increases motivation. Motivation fuels consistency. Consistency transforms ideas into experience. Your desires become real as your thoughts become more aligned with what you want to attract. This alignment influences how you speak, act, and respond to your environment. Each response becomes a small step toward manifestation. Over time, these steps form a new reality. That reality begins within the mind. The mind becomes the architect of your future. The mind's power to give form to your desires depends on how intentionally you use it. When you choose thoughts that strengthen your vision and align with your purpose, your desires gain structure. Structure becomes momentum. Momentum becomes reality. And reality begins as a single thought, given strength, clarity, and belief within the mind. Possibility begins in the spaces where your imagination is allowed to explore freely. Long before anything in your external world changes, your mind quietly opens doors to new outcomes. When you allow yourself to picture something better, you activate an inner movement toward it. This movement reshapes how you interpret daily moments. Interpretation influences direction. Direction becomes the seed of transformation. Seeing possibility requires looking past present limitations without denying them. You acknowledge what exists while choosing to focus on what could unfold next. This dual awareness strengthens your mental balance. Balanced thinking helps you remain grounded while still staying open to new outcomes. Openness invites clarity. Clarity makes possibility feel more attainable. Your ability to see possibility expands when you stop measuring your progress solely by visible results. Visible change often arrives last. Internal change, however, begins the moment your perspective shifts. As you start thinking differently, opportunities that once seemed hidden come into view. Seeing them increases your confidence. Confidence strengthens your belief in where you're heading. Possibility becomes clear when you train your mind to explore beyond its familiar patterns. Familiar thoughts create predictable outcomes, but new thoughts open unknown pathways. When you allow your mind to wander into new territory, your imagination becomes more active. Active imagination strengthens your creative vision. Creative vision makes future possibilities more vivid. Seeing possibility before reality catches up means trusting ideas that have not yet taken shape. This trust is a quiet form of courage that grows each time you imagine a better outcome. With trust, your intentions gain strength. Strong intentions influence your daily choices. Consistent choices create movement toward your imagined future. Movement builds direction. Possibility becomes more visible when you stop treating your current circumstances as final. Circumstances shift with time, effort, and perspective. By loosening your attachment to the present state, you create space for new opportunities to emerge. This space strengthens your sense of expansion. Expansion helps you stay aligned with the future you envision. Alignment supports manifestation. The mind sees possibility more clearly when it learns to separate fear from truth. Fear often distorts perception, making challenges appear larger than they are. When you quiet this distortion, your vision sharpens. Sharpened vision helps you recognize potential where you once saw obstacles. This recognition builds emotional resilience. Resilience fuels forward movement. Seeing possibility ahead of reality requires patience with the time it takes for change to unfold. Your vision may form instantly, but the world responds gradually. When you accept this natural pacing, frustration loses its grip. Reduced frustration keeps your thoughts steady. Steady thinking supports belief. Belief nourishes your vision. Possibility becomes stronger when you allow curiosity to guide your thinking. Curiosity replaces doubt with exploration. Exploration opens mental pathways you may not have considered before. These pathways reveal options that once seemed unreachable. New options inspire hope. Hope deepens your connection to possibility. Your ability to see possibility expands when you allow yourself to imagine without restrictions. Restrictions are often inherited from past experiences, but they do not reflect your full potential. When you release these limits, your imagination becomes more flexible. Flexibility creates mental freedom. Freedom strengthens your creative power. Creative power expands your future. Seeing possibility before reality appears requires embracing uncertainty as an ally. Uncertainty may feel uncomfortable, but it carries room for growth. When you stop resisting it, you discover that unknown spaces hold opportunity. Opportunity becomes more visible when your mind is not confined by fear. This visibility guides your next steps. Steps shape your journey. Possibility takes shape when your thoughts become more aligned with what you want than with what you fear. Focus directs energy, and energy strengthens intention. As intention grows, your inner momentum increases. Increased momentum helps your vision feel more achievable. Achievable visions keep motivation alive. Motivation nurtures progress. Seeing possibility begins with noticing the small hints of change already forming. Even subtle shifts in your perspective can signal deeper transformation. When you pay attention to these signs, you reinforce the belief that progress is unfolding. This reinforcement strengthens your emotional grounding. Grounding helps you stay committed. Commitment supports the next step forward. Possibility becomes clearer when your mind is uncluttered. Mental clutter blocks imagination and restricts your ability to think expansively. When you create internal space through reflection or stillness, your thoughts become more organized. Organized thoughts make room for new ideas. New ideas feed possibility. Possibility shapes your future vision. Seeing possibility requires a willingness to believe in what you cannot yet touch. This belief is not blind optimism. It is the recognition that creation always begins internally. As your inner world strengthens, your outer world responds. Response brings alignment between thought and reality. Alignment accelerates manifestation. Manifestation reflects your vision. Possibility becomes accessible when you trust your capacity to grow into the person your desires require. Growth is not immediate, but your mind adapts with each intentional thought. As you expand your self-image, your expectations rise. Elevated expectations shift your choices. These shifts bring your life closer to your imagined reality. Reality follows your inner evolution. Seeing possibility ahead of time means understanding that outcomes are shaped by perspective. When you choose a perspective that reflects potential rather than limitation, your experiences shift accordingly. This shift influences how you interpret challenges. Challenges become stepping stones instead of barriers. Stepping stones support continued movement. Possibility strengthens when you stop waiting for reassurance from your environment. External validation can only confirm what you already believe. When you cultivate belief internally, you no longer depend on immediate proof. Lack of proof does not discourage you. Instead, it motivates you to continue shaping your inner vision. Vision leads your path. Your ability to see possibility improves when you become more aware of the thoughts you feed. Thoughts with clarity and purpose create momentum, while scattered thoughts dilute it. When you intentionally nurture thoughts that support your future, your mind becomes a fertile space for new outcomes. Fertile thinking deepens belief. Belief fuels creation. Seeing possibility before reality catches up is an inner skill that strengthens with practice. It requires intention, trust, imagination, and emotional steadiness. When you train your mind to recognize what could be rather than what currently is, your future becomes more responsive to your vision. Over time, reality begins to align with your thoughts, and your thoughts continue shaping what comes next. Change begins the moment intention becomes the guiding force behind your thoughts. When you direct your mind with clarity, your energy shifts toward the direction you choose. This inner shift influences how you interpret challenges and opportunities, shaping the path ahead of you. Focused intention transforms your thinking from scattered to purposeful. Purpose strengthens your action. Action begins shaping your reality. Focused intention gives your mind a target, turning vague desires into clear direction. Without intention, your thoughts drift between possibilities without commitment. But when you choose a specific path, your mental focus narrows. This narrowing creates emotional alignment. Alignment reinforces clarity. Clarity makes change feel not only possible but inevitable. Creating change through intention requires understanding the power behind your attention. Whatever you repeatedly return to becomes the blueprint of your future. When you direct your attention toward what you want, your thoughts begin supporting that outcome. Supportive thoughts generate confidence. Confidence fuels meaningful action. Action moves you closer to your vision. Focused intention shapes your behavior in ways you often don't notice. Subtle shifts start forming new choices, new reactions, new habits. These small adjustments accumulate over time, creating lasting transformation. Transformation grows stronger when your intention remains steady. Steady intention becomes a quiet source of strength. Strength helps you navigate obstacles with clarity. Intention gives change a direction, but focus gives it power. When your mind remains fixed on the outcome you desire, distractions lose their influence. This mental discipline sharpens your awareness. Sharpened awareness helps you notice opportunities that align with your goals. Opportunities invite movement. Movement builds momentum. Focused intention transforms your inner world before it impacts your external environment. As your thinking becomes more aligned, your emotions follow. Aligned emotions create stability. Stability supports consistent action. Consistency strengthens your connection to your intention. Strong connection accelerates change. Creating change through intention means choosing thoughts that match the future you want to build. When your thoughts reflect your desired reality, your mind begins preparing you to receive it. Preparation shows up in your confidence, your clarity, and your willingness to act. Willingness turns ideas into movement. Movement reinforces your intention. Focused intention teaches your mind to become selective. Instead of feeding fears and doubts, you choose thoughts that strengthen your direction. This selectiveness transforms your mental environment. A cleaner inner space allows creative solutions to appear more easily. Solutions spark progress. Progress supports deeper transformation. Intention-based change grows when you learn to redirect your thoughts each time they drift. Thought patterns naturally revisit old fears, but your intention guides them back toward clarity. This redirection builds mental discipline. Discipline strengthens your sense of control. Control helps you stay aligned with your goals, even during uncertainty. Focused intention turns uncertainty into possibility. When your mind stays rooted in what you desire, unknown outcomes feel less threatening. Instead of resisting them, you welcome new paths that support your growth. This openness reduces emotional tension. Reduced tension frees your energy. Free energy supports momentum. Creating change through intention requires patience. Intention plants the seed, but consistency waters it. As you nurture your vision with steady focus, your mind grows more comfortable with the idea of change. Comfort builds inner trust. Trust strengthens your commitment. Commitment keeps your intention alive. Focused intention transforms how you respond to challenges. Instead of interpreting obstacles as signs to stop, you view them as signals prompting adjustment. Adjustments refine your path without weakening your belief. Refined direction deepens your confidence. Confidence helps you continue with clarity. Clarity fuels the next step. Your intention becomes more powerful when it aligns with your authentic desires. Authenticity removes internal resistance. Without resistance, your mind works with you rather than against you. This internal cooperation enhances your ability to create change. Enhanced ability accelerates growth. Growth strengthens your sense of direction. Intention-driven change requires you to see yourself as capable of transformation. When you adopt this identity, your actions naturally reflect it. You speak, think, and behave in ways that support your vision. This alignment creates harmony between your inner and outer worlds. Harmony energizes your progress. Progress reinforces your intention. Focused intention shapes the emotional atmosphere within you. When your thoughts aim towards something meaningful, your emotions gain purpose. Purpose-driven emotions create resilience. Resilience helps you remain steady even when progress feels slow. Steadiness protects your vision. Protection keeps your intention strong. Creating change through intention depends on consistency. The more often you return to your focus, the more deeply it becomes rooted. Deep roots make your vision stable. Stability prevents discouragement from derailing your progress. With discouragement weakened, your determination strengthens. Determination fuels lasting change. Focused intention helps you shift from reacting to life to consciously shaping it. Instead of waiting for circumstances to improve, you take responsibility for directing your energy. This responsibility expands your sense of influence. Influence empowers your choices. Empowered choices create meaningful transformation. Intention becomes a powerful force when paired with emotional alignment. When your feelings reinforce your thoughts, your vision becomes magnetic. This magnetism attracts opportunities, people, and ideas that support your goal. Support builds momentum. Momentum brings change closer to reality. Creating change through focused intention means trusting the process even when results are not yet visible. You understand that reality takes time to align with your inner world. As long as your intention stays strong, your direction remains unchanged. Unchanging direction strengthens your resilience. Resilience keeps you moving forward. Focused intention is the foundation of transformation. It sharpens your awareness, organizes your energy, and aligns your choices with your deepest desires. When your mind holds a steady vision, the world around you gradually shifts to reflect it. Each thought becomes a brushstroke in the picture of your future, and through intention, that future begins to take form. Imagination becomes a guiding force the moment you allow it to move beyond the boundaries of your current life. When you give your mind permission to explore freely, it begins creating versions of your future that are richer than anything your present circumstances suggest. These imagined scenes are not childish fantasies, but early drafts of what is possible. They spark curiosity and excitement within you. Curiosity stirs direction. Direction begins forming through imagination. Letting imagination guide you means loosening your grip on the need for certainty. Certainty limits exploration, while imagination thrives in open space. When you release rigid expectations, your mind expands into ideas that were previously out of reach. This expansion gives you access to new pathways of thinking. New pathways shape fresh possibilities. Fresh possibilities influence your next steps. Imagination helps you create emotional connection to the future you want. When you picture something vividly, your mind responds as if the experience is already unfolding. This emotional response builds enthusiasm. Enthusiasm energizes your actions. Energized action strengthens your direction. Direction becomes clearer with every imagined detail. Letting imagination lead means allowing yourself to think beyond logic at times. Logic is useful, but it often restricts what you dare to consider. Imagination, however, opens doors to outcomes that logic alone cannot see. When both work together, you create a balanced approach to your future. Imagination becomes powerful when you allow it to shape the way you perceive possibilities. Instead of focusing on limits, you begin exploring what could unfold with the right actions and mindset. This exploration removes internal barriers. With fewer barriers, your mind navigates more freely. Free mental movement shapes your direction. Direction becomes fluid and adaptive. Letting imagination guide your path helps you shift from survival thinking to creative thinking. Survival thinking keeps you repeating the same patterns. Creative thinking encourages innovation. When your imagination activates creativity, your outlook transforms. Transformation expands your awareness. Expanded awareness strengthens your potential. Potential becomes a motivating force. Imagination leads effectively when you stop judging your ideas before they form. Many possibilities disappear because they are dismissed too early. Allowing ideas to exist without criticism gives them space to develop. Developed ideas offer insight. Insight brings clarity. Clarity helps refine your next direction. Letting imagination guide you means visualizing your life from a place of expansion rather than fear. Fear restricts vision, but imagination stretches it. When you picture yourself stepping into new opportunities, your confidence slowly increases. Increased confidence strengthens your belief in what you imagine. Belief becomes the bridge between thought and action. Action shapes direction. Imagination influences your future when you allow it to become part of your daily thinking. Small moments of visualization create emotional patterns that align with your desires. These patterns shift your mindset. A shifted mindset changes your choices. Changed choices create a new trajectory. Trajectory begins in thought. Letting imagination lead your direction requires openness to unfamiliar outcomes. You may not know how everything will unfold, but imagination invites you to trust that something meaningful can emerge. This trust reduces hesitation. Reduced hesitation encourages bolder action. Bold action expands your possibilities. Expanded possibilities guide your next step. Imagination becomes a compass when you use it to explore your deepest desires. Surface-level wants often fade, but desires rooted in imagination carry emotional resonance. This resonance connects you to what genuinely matters. Genuine connection sharpens your clarity. Clarity strengthens your commitment. Commitment helps shape your direction. Letting imagination guide you means allowing your inner world to inspire the outer one. When you picture possibilities with emotional depth, your actions naturally begin aligning with the image. This alignment supports consistency. Consistency builds momentum. Momentum brings you closer to the life you imagine. Imagination becomes the spark for action. Imagination helps you expand your identity into someone capable of achieving more. When you imagine yourself in a new role, you begin embodying traits needed for that transformation. Embodiment shapes behavior. Behavior influences outcomes. Outcomes reshape your identity. Identity opens new direction. Letting imagination lead means being willing to challenge your current beliefs. When your imagination presents new possibilities, those beliefs begin to loosen. Loosened beliefs create mental freedom. Mental freedom encourages growth. Growth guides your next phase. Imagination strengthens direction when you allow it to paint detailed versions of your goals. The more detailed the vision, the more your mind understands how to pursue it. Emotional depth fuels determination. Determination turns dreams into strategy. Strategy directs your progress. Letting imagination guide your path requires trust in your ability to evolve. As your inner vision becomes clearer, you naturally adjust your behaviors to match it. These adjustments shift your environment. A shifting environment offers new opportunities. Opportunities shape new direction. Direction emerges from inner evolution. Imagination becomes an anchor when you use it to stay connected to your vision despite challenges. Challenges may slow your progress, but imagination keeps your desire alive. Alive, desires maintain your motivation. Motivation becomes steady through clarity. Steady clarity helps you move forward. Forward movement reinforces your path. Letting imagination lead encourages you to consider versions of your life that feel expansive rather than predictable. Predictability keeps you comfortable, but imagination invites growth. Growth deepens your sense of purpose. Purpose becomes a guiding force. This force shapes your decisions. Decisions shape your future. Imagination gains power when you practice engaging with it consistently. The more often you picture your desires, the more natural the vision becomes. Natural visions attract your focus. Focus reinforces belief. Belief influences your actions. Letting your imagination lead your next direction is about trusting the inner pictures that arise before the world delivers proof. These images are not random, they are invitations. Invitations to explore, to expand, and to become more aligned with your deepest potential. As you follow them, your future begins forming from the inside out, guided by the imaginative power that lives within you. Clarity is the engine that turns scattered energy into meaningful momentum. When your thoughts become organized around a single direction, your actions begin to follow with greater ease. This inner organization removes the noise that once held you back. Without clutter, your mind processes opportunities more quickly. Quick recognition fuels decisive movement. Movement builds momentum. Thought-driven clarity helps you distinguish between what matters and what distracts you. The mind naturally drifts, but clarity gives it an anchor. Anchored thinking helps you maintain focus even when your environment feels chaotic. This focus strengthens your sense of progress. Progress amplifies motivation. Motivation drives you further along your path. Momentum grows when your thoughts hold a consistent image of what you're working toward. This image becomes a reference point for every decision you make. When your inner picture stays stable, your outer choices align automatically. Alignment reduces hesitation. Reduced hesitation increases action. Action reinforces clarity. Clarity allows you to move forward without constantly questioning your direction. Instead of doubting each step, you trust the mental framework guiding you. This trust calms your mind. A calm mind responds to challenges with creativity rather than fear. Creativity creates options. Options contribute to continued momentum. Thought-driven clarity helps you filter out unnecessary effort. Not every task supports your goals, and clarity reveals which ones deserve your energy. As you focus on what truly matters, your productivity becomes more efficient. Efficiency builds confidence. Confidence keeps your momentum steady. Steady momentum strengthens your path. Momentum increases when your thoughts remain emotionally aligned with your goals. Emotional alignment creates internal harmony. Harmony supports consistent action. Consistent action solidifies your direction. Direction brings structure to your progress. Structured progress multiplies your momentum. Clarity shifts your mindset from reacting to shaping. Instead of waiting for circumstances to dictate your next move, you initiate movement from within. This inner initiation empowers you. Empowerment fuels bold thinking. Bold thinking inspires purposeful action. Purposeful action accelerates your progress. Thought-driven clarity helps you see opportunities that were previously hidden by doubt or confusion. When your mind becomes clear, subtle signals stand out. These signals guide your choices. Guided choices reduce uncertainty. Reduced uncertainty builds forward energy. Forward energy strengthens momentum. Momentum becomes sustainable when your thoughts are not fighting against each other. Conflicting thoughts drain your energy, but clarity unifies them. Unified thinking increases mental strength. Mental strength deepens your resilience. Resilience allows you to continue moving despite setbacks. Continuing movement maintains momentum. Clarity gives you the ability to choose thoughts that support your vision rather than sabotage it. Empowered thinking elevates your expectations. Elevated expectations influence your behavior. Behavior shapes your future direction. Thought-driven clarity encourages you to simplify your mental environment. Simplicity removes complication that slows progress. When your mind feels spacious, your creativity increases. Increased creativity helps you generate new solutions. Solutions move you forward. Forward motion reinforces momentum. Momentum builds when you stay focused on the present step while still holding the larger vision in mind. Clarity helps you balance these two perspectives without losing direction. This balance nurtures calm persistence. Calm persistence strengthens your progress. Progress strengthens belief. Belief fuels momentum. Clarity supports momentum by reducing emotional turbulence. When your thoughts are aligned, your emotions settle into coherence. Coherence helps you respond with intention rather than impulse. Intentional responses shape constructive outcomes. Constructive outcomes elevate your confidence. Elevated confidence increases momentum. Thought-driven clarity enhances your ability to recognize patterns. When you see what helps you progress and what slows you down, you make more informed choices. Informed choices prevent wasted effort. Preserved energy increases your capacity to move forward. Increased capacity supports stronger momentum. Momentum develops naturally when clarity becomes a daily practice. Returning your thoughts to your intention keeps your path illuminated. An illuminated path reduces confusion. Reduced confusion enhances precision. Precision makes your actions more effective. Effective actions push your progress forward. Clarity sharpens your sense of purpose, giving every step meaning. When each action feels meaningful, your motivation intensifies. Intensified motivation becomes a driving force. This force empowers you through difficulty. Empowerment maintains your pace. Maintaining your pace grows your momentum. Thought-driven clarity helps you remain adaptable without losing your direction. You can adjust your methods while keeping your goal intact. Adaptability keeps you flexible. Flexibility prevents resistance from slowing you. Without resistance, movement becomes smoother. Smooth movement sustains momentum. Momentum strengthens when your thoughts become rooted in conviction. Conviction removes doubt from your internal landscape. Without doubt clouding your vision, your mind becomes more decisive. Decisive thinking drives efficient action. Efficient action multiplies forward motion. Motion keeps your energy alive. Clarity gives your mind a place to return whenever you feel overwhelmed. This mental grounding prevents you from spiraling into confusion. With grounding, your thoughts regain focus quickly. Focus restores direction. Direction reignites your drive. Drive feeds your momentum. Building momentum through thought-driven clarity means aligning your inner world so powerfully that your outer world has no choice but to follow. When your thoughts are clear, your actions become intentional. Intentional actions create consistent movement. Consistent movement transforms your trajectory. And through clarity, your momentum becomes unstoppable. Visualization becomes a powerful tool when you engage with it intentionally rather than passively. By choosing what you visualize, you direct your mind toward the outcomes you want instead of the ones you fear. This intentional focus trains your inner world to expect expansion rather than limitation. Expectation shapes perception. Perception shapes action. Action shapes your future. Conscious visualization allows you to mentally experience your desired future before it physically arrives. When you imagine yourself already living that reality, your mind treats it as familiar rather than distant. Familiarity reduces doubt. Reduced doubt strengthens confidence. Confidence encourages movement toward your vision. The images you consistently visualize begin influencing your emotional state. Emotions are powerful indicators of your internal alignment. When your visualization evokes feelings of certainty, gratitude, or excitement, you create a supportive emotional atmosphere within. This atmosphere nurtures belief. Belief amplifies intention. Intention steers your path. Visualization works best when your mind is calm enough to receive clear images. A quiet mental space enhances your ability to picture details vividly. Vivid imagery strengthens emotional connection. Emotional connection reinforces commitment. Commitment transforms your visualization from imagination into an inner guide. Conscious visualization also helps you recognize opportunities aligned with your goals. When your mind continually rehearses a certain outcome, it becomes more sensitive to signs pointing in that direction. These signs may feel subtle, yet they influence your decisions. Influenced decisions lead to aligned action. Aligned action accelerates manifestation. Visualizing your future allows you to practice being the version of yourself that your goals require. You imagine your reactions, behaviors, and thought patterns in various situations. This mental practice shapes your identity. Shaped identity affects your habits. Changed habits adjust your future trajectory. Your future becomes clearer each time you picture it with intention. This clarity helps you filter out distractions that do not match your vision. Filtering strengthens focus. Focus enhances discipline. Discipline ensures your progress remains steady. Conscious visualization builds resilience during periods of uncertainty. When external circumstances feel unstable, the images you hold internally become your anchor. Anchored thinking keeps your direction intact. Intact direction maintains confidence. Confidence supports perseverance. Visualization invites your mind to explore outcomes beyond your logical expectations. Logic can limit possibility, but visualization expands it. Expansive thinking encourages creativity. Creativity opens new pathways. New pathways move you closer to the life you imagine. Your future begins forming in the moments you visualize it consistently. Consistency trains your subconscious to work in harmony with your goals. Harmonized thinking influences your instinctive choices. Those instinctive choices often lead to outcomes that align with your vision. Visualization strengthens your motivation by reminding you of what you're working toward. When the journey feels slow, revisiting the image of your desired future reignites your drive. Reignited drive boosts endurance. Endurance supports momentum. Momentum brings you closer to manifestation. Conscious visualization also reveals limiting beliefs that conflict with your desires. When you visualize something and feel resistance, that resistance guides you to the thoughts holding you back. Awareness of these thoughts gives you power to change them. Changed beliefs create internal freedom. Freedom expands your vision. Your future becomes more attainable when visualization activates your sense of certainty. Certainty doesn't come from external proof but from internal conviction. This conviction fuels your willingness to act even without guarantees. Willingness generates courage. Courage opens the door to transformation. Visualization turns your imagination into a tool rather than an escape. Instead of imagining what could go wrong, you intentionally picture what could unfold beautifully. This shift rewires your mental patterns. Rewired patterns create supportive thinking. Supportive thinking shapes your outcomes. Conscious visualization helps you embody success before you physically achieve it. When you imagine yourself succeeding, your mind practices that emotional state. Practiced emotions become easier to maintain. Maintained emotions influence your decisions. Decisions bring your imagined future into form. Visualization also works through repetition. The more frequently your mind engages with a visual image, the more deeply it becomes embedded. Embedded images influence your confidence. Confidence inspires action. Action materializes your vision. Your future takes shape when your visualization becomes more than a momentary thought. When it becomes a mental environment you return to frequently. This environment holds the blueprint of your desires. Blueprints guide construction. Guided construction leads to consistent progress. Progress manifests potential. Conscious visualization strengthens your relationship with possibility. As you picture your future with clarity and emotion, you begin trusting that the unseen can become real. Trust simplifies decision-making. Simplified decisions reduce hesitation. Reduced hesitation speeds your forward movement. Shaping your future through conscious visualization means becoming the architect of your inner world. Each image you hold, each feeling you generate, and each vision you return to contributes to the reality you build. Your mind lays the foundation long before your life reflects it. Through visualization, your future takes root in thought before it blossoms in reality. Mental images carry the power to awaken parts of you that routine thinking cannot access. When you hold a vision with intention, it becomes more than a passing idea. It becomes a signal to your mind that new growth is possible. This signal reshapes how you interpret your abilities and your potential. As interpretation shifts, the limits you once accepted begin loosening. Loosened limits create space. Space becomes the starting ground for breakthrough. Turning a mental image into transformation begins with allowing it to feel believable. When the mind accepts a vision as possible, it starts seeking ways to support it. This creates an inner shift where doubt loses its authority. Without doubt dominating your thinking, you move with greater certainty. Certainty strengthens your direction. Direction guides you toward breakthroughs. Your mental images act like internal instructions for your subconscious. Even without active effort, your deeper mind begins rearranging thoughts, reactions, and expectations to match the vision you hold. These subtle adjustments influence your habits. As habits shift, your environment gradually responds. This response supports the development of new progress. Progress grows into breakthrough. Breakthroughs form when your mental images become consistent enough to overpower old narratives. The mind relies heavily on repetition, so the more often you visualize success, the more familiar it becomes. Familiarity turns fear into neutrality. Neutrality allows clear thinking. Clear thinking leads to better decisions. Better decisions open pathways to transformation. Turning mental images into reality requires emotional involvement. When you feel the vision rather than just picture it, your entire inner world aligns with its meaning. This alignment sends a powerful message that you are ready to experience something greater. Readiness cultivates confidence. Confidence strengthens action. Action carries you toward tangible results. Mental images gain power when they are connected to your identity. If you see yourself as someone capable of achieving what you visualize, your behavior begins matching that identity. Identity-driven choices are stronger than willpower. These choices reinforce your belief. Reinforced belief increases consistency. Consistency builds breakthroughs. Turning images into breakthroughs means embracing the discomfort that arises as your mind stretches beyond its old patterns. Growth requires moving beyond familiar territory, and your images act as a guide through that discomfort. With each step toward the vision, your resilience deepens. Deepened resilience supports bold movement. Bold movement creates significant change. Mental imagery acts as a bridge between who you are now and who you're becoming. Each time you visualize, you walk across that bridge mentally before doing so physically. This mental rehearsal removes hesitation. Without hesitation, your actions become more fluid. Fluid actions generate momentum. Momentum leads to breakthrough moments. Your visions become catalysts when you treat them as commitments instead of wishes. A committed vision carries weight. It influences your thoughts throughout the day. This influence shapes your responses to challenges. Challenges lose intensity when viewed through a committed mind. With reduced intensity, you progress more steadily. Steady progress forms breakthrough. Turning mental images into breakthroughs requires clarity about what you want. A vague vision produces vague results, but a clear mental picture sharpens your intention. Sharp intention directs your focus. Directed focus minimizes distractions. Fewer distractions increase your energy for meaningful actions. Meaningful actions lead to transformation. Mental images become powerful tools when they replace self-limiting stories. Old stories can trap you in patterns of hesitation, but new inner pictures create new narratives. These narratives reshape how you see your strengths. A stronger self-view encourages risk-taking. Risk-taking accelerates evolution. Evolution brings breakthroughs. Breakthroughs emerge when your mental imagery becomes part of your daily rhythm. When you return to your vision regularly, it stays active in your consciousness. Active visions attract ideas and insights that support them. These insights spark new approaches. New approaches create opportunities. Opportunities develop into breakthroughs. Mental images guide you through uncertainty by giving you a consistent point of reference. Even when circumstances feel unstable, your inner picture stays steady. Steadiness brings emotional grounding. Grounding strengthens clarity. Clarity supports continued movement. Continued movement breaks through barriers. Turning mental images into breakthroughs becomes easier when you release the need for immediate results. Visualization works beneath the surface before showing external evidence. Patience nurtures the process. Nurtured processes gain power. Power strengthens your pathway forward. Strength reveals transformation. Your visions become transformative when you allow them to challenge the version of you shaped by past limitations. Mental images invite you to think bigger, feel deeper, and expect more. These expectations shift your behaviors subtly but consistently. Subtle consistency builds powerful changes. Powerful changes lead to breakthrough experiences. Mental imagery influences your nervous system, helping your body adapt to new possibilities. When you visualize confidently, your body responds with calmer reactions and stronger presence. Presence enhances decision-making. Better decisions create new progress. Progress turns into breakthrough when repeated intentionally. Breakthroughs often begin as small internal shifts that accumulate over time. Your mental images act as the blueprint for these shifts. Each imagined detail becomes a cue for your mind to adjust your actions. Adjusted actions stack into patterns. Patterns shape your direction. Direction leads you into new territory. Mental images transform your future when you trust them enough to act in alignment with them. Trust removes doubt's interference. Without interference, your energy flows more freely. Flowing energy inspires consistent movement. Consistent movement creates openings for new outcomes. New outcomes become breakthroughs. Turning mental images into breakthroughs requires honoring the connection between imagination and discipline. Imagination provides vision, while discipline provides follow-through. Together, they create harmony within your mind. This harmony fuels your momentum. Momentum builds your breakthrough. Mental images become personal breakthroughs when they are held with clarity, emotion, and repeated belief. They reshape your identity, your habits, your decisions, and your expectations. Over time, the world around you begins reflecting what your mind has rehearsed. Your inner pictures become your outer reality, proving that transformation begins in thought long before it appears in life. Living as the source of your reality begins with recognizing the influence your inner world holds over your outer experiences. When you understand that your thoughts, beliefs, and emotional patterns shape how you interpret life, you stop viewing reality as something that happens to you. Instead, you start seeing yourself as the one who gives meaning to every moment. Meaning becomes the foundation of creation. Creation begins where awareness expands. Stepping into this mindset requires accepting that your reaction to life holds more power than the circumstances themselves. Two people can experience the same event, yet create entirely different realities based on their inner response. This truth reveals the creative force within your perception. Perception influences choice. Choice influences outcome. Outcome shapes your reality. Living as the source means becoming intentional about the thoughts you allow to guide you. Unconscious thinking leads to reactive living, but conscious thinking empowers clarity. When your thoughts align with your desires, your behavior naturally follows. Aligned behavior strengthens consistency. Consistency reinforces your direction. Direction builds your future. Your reality shifts when you take responsibility for the energy you bring into each situation. Responsibility is not blame. It is awareness. When you choose to embody the energy that reflects the life you want, your environment begins responding differently. Responses shape experiences. Experiences reinforce beliefs. Beliefs guide your creation. Living as the source means understanding that your expectations quietly craft your outcomes. What you expect influences the signals your mind looks for. These signals shape your interpretation of events, turning possibility into opportunity. Opportunity invites action. Action moves you forward. Movement transforms your reality. Your internal dialogue becomes one of the strongest tools in shaping the life you create. When your mind speaks to you with clarity and intention, your self-perception elevates. Elevated perception influences your confidence. Confidence expands your willingness to act. Willing action leads to meaningful progress. Living as the source also means recognizing the influence of your emotional state. Emotion acts as a magnet, drawing experiences that match its frequency. When you anchor yourself in emotions that support your goals, your reality begins shifting toward alignment. Alignment creates flow. Flow strengthens manifestation. Manifestation reflects your inner world. Your sense of identity plays a major role in the reality you create. When you see yourself as capable, worthy, and powerful, your decisions reflect those beliefs. These empowered decisions shape the opportunities you pursue. Opportunities lead to growth. Growth expands your reality. Expanded reality reinforces your identity. Living as the source means recognizing that your attention is a form of energy. Whatever you give consistent attention to becomes more prominent in your life. If your attention focuses on possibility, your reality mirrors that direction. If it focuses on limitation, your reality echoes restriction. Awareness of this dynamic helps you choose consciously. Conscious choice creates clarity. Your reality becomes more harmonious when your intentions and actions match. When your inner world says yes, but your actions say no, conflict arises. This conflict delays progress. But when intention and action unite, you create momentum. Momentum opens doors. Open doors reshape your path. Living as the source requires releasing the need for external validation before you act. Waiting for permission places the power outside of you. When you trust your inner guidance, you reclaim your authority. Authority strengthens your decisions. Strong decisions create bolder outcomes. Bold outcomes shift your reality. Your beliefs act as filters through which you experience the world. When you change these filters, you change the meaning you give to situations. New meaning shapes new possibilities. Possibilities energize your thinking. Energized thinking supports aligned action. Aligned action builds the reality you want. Living as the source means letting go of the habit of blaming circumstances for your stagnation. Your response determines what they become, obstacles or catalysts. Catalysts encourage transformation. Transformation deepens your strength. Strength enriches your reality. Your power grows when you learn to act from intention rather than emotional impulse. Intention brings clarity during uncertainty. Clarity guides your responses. Thoughtful responses create better outcomes. Better outcomes reinforce your belief in your ability to shape your world. Living as the source encourages you to design your life rather than drift through it. When you decide the direction of your energy each day, your reality becomes a reflection of purpose rather than chance. Purpose enrich your decisions. Enriched decisions elevate your experiences. Elevated experiences redefine your path. Your reality becomes more aligned with your desires when you stop repeating old stories that no longer serve you. These stories limit your expectations, but rewriting them opens new possibilities. New possibilities shift your vision. Vision directs your intention. Intention molds your reality. Living as the source also means embracing accountability for your growth. Growth requires consistent awareness of your patterns and choices. Awareness reveals what needs to be released and what needs to be strengthened. Strengthened patterns support transformation. Transformation shapes the reality unfolding around you. Your relationship with yourself becomes the core of the reality you create. When you treat yourself with respect, patience, and encouragement, your choices reflect those qualities. These choices improve your experiences. Improved experiences elevate your emotional state. Elevated emotion magnetizes better outcomes. Living as the source means acknowledging that your internal world is the blueprint of your external life. Every belief, expectation, and thought contributes to the design. The more consciously you craft this design, the more intentionally your reality forms. Intentional formation creates alignment. Alignment becomes your power. Living as the source of the reality you create means recognizing that your life expands or contracts based on the energy you bring into it. When you choose thoughts that empower, emotions that uplift, and actions that align, your world begins to transform from the inside out. Through this transformation, you become the architect of your experience, shaping a reality that reflects your deepest vision. Your mind has carried you through a journey where imagination becomes direction, intention becomes momentum, and belief becomes the blueprint of everything you build. The visions you hold are not distant fantasies. They are early expressions of the life waiting for you to step into it. Each thought you choose, each picture you strengthen, and each intention you commit to becomes part of the silent architecture shaping your future. As you move forward, trust the power you've uncovered within yourself. Let your ideas breathe, let your imagination stretch wider than your circumstances, and let your thoughts speak confidently about the life you're creating. The world will adjust to match the clarity you carry. You are no longer just imagining possibilities, you are shaping them, directing them, and calling them into existence. Your vision is not ahead of you. It lives within you. And from within, it expands outward until it becomes your reality. This is your power. This is your path. Think it, feel it, trust it, and watch your imagined life rise into form.